Where were you on December 10th, 2020? I'll tell you where I was. At home, on my PC, playing a game that I, along with many other people, thought would be one of the major game-changing action RPGs of this era. The game I'm talking about, of course, is CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077. Believe me when I say that this game had more hype than any game in recent years. You see that Starfield hype we all have right now? It was around that level, if not even higher. Before I get started though, I'd like to thank today's video sponsor, Raid Shadow Legend. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not at that level yet, but be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this content so that I can eventually get sponsors and stuff. Cyberpunk 2077 is an action RPG that dropped in 2020. It was developed by the folks over at CD Projekt Red and published by the same crew. This game throws you right into the heart of Night City, the open world set in the gritty cyberpunk universe. You step into the shoes of V, a mercenary that you're able to customize. You can tweak everything from your voice and face to your wicked hairstyles and body mods. You can master hacking and machinery skills, go all out in melee or range combat, it's your call. The main story centers around V's struggle. They've got this cybernetic implant that's threatening to overwrite their body with the memories and personality of a deceased celebrity, the breathtaking Johnny Silverhand. But V and Johnny eventually turned enemies to allies, teaming up in hopes to save V's life and find a way to separate their minds. The development of Cyberpunk 2077 kicked off right after CD Projekt Red released The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Blood and Wine in 2016. They had a massive team of around 500 people working their magic, using the Red Engine 4 game engine to bring this world to life. They even opened a new division in Poland and partnered up with Digital Scapes, Nvidia, QLock, and Jolly Research to make this game shine. Let's not forget about Mike Pondsmith, the creator of the Cyberpunk universe. They brought him on board as a consultant, and they got the one and only Keanu Reeves to star in the role of Johnny Silverhand. Cyberpunk 2077 is all about action and immersion. You play in a first-person perspective as V and have quite a few options for how you would like to play the game, with different character classes like Netrunner for hacking, Techie for machinery, and Solo for combat. You can choose your path. And to really amp up your skills, you can visit a Ripper Dock to upgrade and buy some cyberware implants to really feel like a high-tech warrior. Night City, the open-world metropolis, is divided into 6 regions, each with its own flavor. You've got the posh city center, immigrant-filled Watson, luxurious Westbrook, suburban Haywood, gang-infested Pacifica, and industrial Santo Domingo. And if you're feeling adventurous, there are the Badlands surrounding the city to explore too. Cruise around on foot or hop into a vehicle. Just watch out for pedestrians. The quests in Cyberpunk 2077 are pretty interesting as well. You'll have branching dialogues that let you interact with NPCs and make choices that shape the story. Main quests give you those precious experience points, while side quests earn you street cred. Rack up enough street cred and you'll unlock new skills, vendors, places to explore, and even more quests. It's also worth mentioning that you don't have to go around killing everyone in sight. You've got non-lethal options for weapons and cyberware, so you can play it cool if you want. So Cyberpunk 2077 was going to be that next open world game where the sky would be the limit for a lot of the people who are interested in playing it. It was supposed to have a story that would make your choices feel like they mattered more than anything. Different paths that you could take that would shape your character to be the ultimate legend of Night City, being able to romance who you want, own multiple cars, houses, everything like that. Every single thing you did was supposed to matter at the end of the day. Instead, what we got was a super buggy release that was so bad that even Sony had to remove it from their store and give refunds to everyone who had purchased it until CD Projekt Red got their shit together. While the story wasn't terrible, it still left a lot to be desired. This and many other things made one of the most hyped games in the last couple of years one of the most disappointing games ever. It kind of fell off not too long after that, people forgetting about it entirely and just moving on with their lives as to not relive that horrible experience. That all kind of changed when Cyberpunk Edgerunners came out. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a cyberpunk anime series that dropped in 2022 that was based on Cyberpunk 2077. This series was brought to life by the talented folks at Studio Trigger in Japan under the watchful eye of CD Projekt Red in Poland. You can actually watch it on Netflix right now if you haven't seen it yet. Cyberpunk Edgerunners takes us back to Night City, but the heart of our story lies in Santo Domingo, the oldest, poorest, and most industrial district in Night City. We follow David Martinez, a street kid who's got skills and a lot of street smarts. Unfortunately, he loses everything in a brutal drive-by shooting. Though instead of just giving up, David decides to embrace the life of an edge runner. That means he's a high-tech, black market mercenary, also known as a cyberpunk. Cyberpunk Edgerunners was a massive hit for the fans of the Cyberpunk 2077 series and for anime fans in general. I don't even watch anime that much, and that show took me on such an emotional roller coaster ride. But more importantly, it sparked some much-needed life into the Cyberpunk 2077 franchise. Now, we knew that Cyberpunk 2077 wouldn't just end with with what we received with the base game. These guys did have a roadmap, and while that road wasn't the greatest, we knew that at some point we would get some kind of expansion of sorts. Cue up 2022, and after the success of Edge Runners, we finally received the news that Cyberpunk 2077 will have a brand new DLC. The name, Phantom Liberty. And this is going to be the DLC that changes everything for Cyberpunk 2077. Like literally, people are even considering this to be Cyberpunk 2077 2. Cyberpunk 2? 2.0? Cyberpunk 2078? Well, people are considering this to be an official sequel of sorts, based on just how much will be changed from the base game upon release. Phantom Liberty is a new forthcoming addition to Cyberpunk 2077. It's going to feature a spy thriller story set in a whole new area of Night City. As V, you'll be embarking on an impossible mission of espionage and survival. You'll be exploring an entirely new area of Night City. We'll be getting a fresh slice of the cybernetic metropolis, filled with secrets and surprises around every corner. Phantom Liberty is going to be jam-packed with tons of new content that will definitely make Cyberpunk 2077 a game to revisit down the line. And we're going to go over some of that content right now. The skill tree is going to get an overhaul that's going to shake things up in the game. According to Video Games Chronicle, CD Projekt Red is ditching those old percentage-based perks and going for something way cooler. Instead of just passive buffs like increased critical strike chance or longer bleed duration, Phantom Liberty is going to hook you up with actual abilities that you can unleash in the game. It's all about giving you some fresh moves to experiment with. GameSpot explained more about a couple of these new abilities found in the updated Reflex skill tree. So brace yourselves for a mid-air dash and the wicked ability to deflect bullets with melee weapons. I know, right? Finally. We're also getting an entirely new skill tree in Phantom Liberty. According to the same Video Games Chronicle article, this new skill tree called Relic is gonna slide right into the empty 6 slot in the base game. What makes it so special is it's gonna add some serious twists to the cyberware you've got installed. Upgrading these Relic abilities is gonna require some unique Relic points. Now, I'm not exactly sure what these Relic abilities entail, but the name itself gives us some intriguing hints. Could it be related to the enigmatic Johnny Silverhand or the mysterious Songbird? Guess we'll just have to wait and see. So Cyberpunk isn't only revamping its skill trees and perks, but it's also giving its cyberware system a major upgrade that'll take our gameplay experience to a whole new level. According to a Twitter thread by Susie Hunter, who plays Stella in the upcoming DLC, Cyberpunk 2077 is going all out to make the cyberware system more immersive and customizable than ever. Clothing won't count towards your armor stats anymore. It's all about your cyberware now. Your implants will be the key to boosting your stats and protecting yourself. But that's not all. In Phantom Liberty, they're aiming for a touch of realism. Susie mentioned that there will be a body limit, meaning you can't go all out chroming yourself up without some consequences. Taking on too many implants might actually decrease your HP. It kind of reminds me of the cyberpsychosis thing in Edge Runners, but they've made it clear that it's not exactly a cyberpsychosis thing. So you'll have to think twice before hitting up the Ripper Doc Clinic. It's all about making those tough decisions and carefully choosing which cyberware and implants you'll want to rock. This will surely lead to some seriously unique and specialized character builds. It's all about personalization and making your V stand out in Night City. Now, the interesting details about the specific new implants are still a bit mysterious, but it's very likely that they'll be locked behind the Phantom Liberty DLC. However, the good news is that the cyberware overhaul will be patched into the base game, so even if you don't grab the DLC, you'll still get to enjoy the upgraded cyberware system. Phantom Liberty will also see the police system getting a much-needed overhaul. We all know it hasn't exactly been the game's shining feature, but this expansion is set to change that for good. GameSpot even compares it to the police system in Grand Theft Auto 5, which, if that's the case, it's a pretty massive improvement. According to GameSpot, if you start getting a bit too naughty and commit crimes in quick succession, the police will be hot on your tail like never before. They'll be hunting V down with more aggression, making sure that you pay for your misdeeds. And that's not all. The infamous Max Tac, Night City's elite task force focused on taking down cyber psychos, will be joining the party. If you manage to rack up a 5-star wanted level, be prepared for a not-so-friendly visit from the Max Tac squad. They'll be dropping down from their signature airships ready to bring the pain. The long-awaited vehicle combat system is finally making its debut in Phantom Liberty as well. You can engage in thrilling battles while cruising through the streets of Night City. Pull off epic drive-bys from a speeding car or swing a melee weapon while riding a badass motorcycle. There will also be weapon-mounted vehicles to spice things up even more. we can't forget to talk about the brand new progression system that's set to shake up the entire Cyberpunk experience. According to the quest director himself, Howell Sasko, I'm so sorry if I butchered that, speaking to Video Games Chronicle, we're in for a treat. The difficulty curve, different. The loot drops and tiers, different. Even the enemy archetypes have been revamped for more variety. Sasko even hints at improvements in NPC behavior with smarter AI, as well as some quality of life tweaks to the user interface and user experience. Sounds like CD Projekt Red is pulling out all the stops to give us some awesome free features alongside the DLC. Cyberpunk 2077 without a doubt had one of the rockiest launches of this decade. A lot of people had their hopes set on the release of this game and were let down massively. Things have gotten a lot better since that launch, with tons of patches coming out, fixing the game well enough for Sony to put it back in their store, lots of mods from the community to help make the game feel a lot more immersive, and even subtle little things from CDPR themselves by including things from the Edge Runners anime. Despite the stain on their releases, I don't think we should count CD Projekt Red out just yet. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty looks like it's shaping up to be one massive upgrade that the game has needed for quite some time. It'll be really fun getting to experience all of these new additions to the game, as well as seeing how the story of V continues. Cyberpunk may have lost a chance to be one of the greatest game franchises to be released in this decade for now, but I have faith that Phantom Liberty will be CD Projekt Red's redemption. What do you guys think though? Are you guys excited for Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty? Are you guys still on the fence about CD Projekt Red after seeing the release of Cyberpunk 2077? What are some of the features that you're looking forward to the most if you are anticipating this brand new DLC? Share your thoughts in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. This has been your friendly casual gamer, hoping that you stay as casual as I do, and I'll see you next time.